A sleek alien recon ship hovers just outside Earth's atmosphere, humming as it collects information on humanity's civilization. The ship's advanced sensors, capable of detecting every technological signal on the planet, begin scanning Earth's media networks, military archives, and cultural databanks. The crew, a group of alien scientists with elongated features and shimmering exoskeletons, are filled with curiosity. Their home planet, thousands of light years away, abandoned projectile weapons centuries ago, relying instead on high-energy pulses and quantum-based defenses. In their eyes, humanity is primitive yet curious, a species still clinging to old ways. As data begins pouring in, the scientists focus on visuals of Earth's ancient weapons and armor displayed in museums, media, and even active combat footage. They see swords, primitive firearms, and large, noisy machines humans call tanks. Initially, they assume these relics are merely symbols, kept as tokens of a distant past. But the more they explore, the more they encounter records showing humans actively using these tools in various training exercises, sports, and surprisingly, some recent conflicts. Why do they still wield these inefficient projectile devices? One of the scientists murmurs, bewildered. A blade? Metal projectiles? They're so elementary. One scientist nods, pulling up an analysis on Earth's firearms, noting their ballistic properties and mechanical simplicity compared to the sleek plasma pistols the aliens have long used. They find it baffling that humans continue to rely on weapons that require ammunition, can malfunction, and need regular maintenance. The weapons are loud, clunky, and hardly as lethal as the energy-based devices the aliens use, which can disintegrate a target in seconds. The scientist in charge, a seasoned war analyst, views archived human battle footage dating back centuries. They watch endless clips of soldiers fighting with guns and bayonets, holding swords to their sides, and charging into battle with outdated tanks. To them, these tools seem almost quaint, bordering on ceremonial rather than practical. Another alien suggests, perhaps these items are for cultural rituals or traditional events, a way to honor their warrior past. The war analyst raises an appendage. That may explain some uses, but look here, he says, displaying clips of human soldiers training with modern yet primitive rifles, knives, and armored vehicles. He fast-forwards to footage of humans using these same tools in live combat, utilizing strategy and precision that catches the team off guard. The analysts try categorizing Earth's weapons, but every time they think they understand, new footage challenges them. They spot humans sparring with swords in structured martial arts practices and testing endurance in close combat scenarios. Then they find evidence of war games, where humans simulate battlefield conditions, honing their tactics as if these ancient weapons were crucial for survival. Perplexed, the alien war analyst initiates a deeper dive. They uncover records of Earth conflicts where humans fought technologically advanced enemies, sometimes even alien intruders. The footage shows humans adapting rapidly, utilizing their surroundings, forming complex strategies, and, shockingly, winning. Even with limited resources and weapons the aliens consider outdated, humans seem to compensate with adaptability and persistence that surpasses mere tradition. As the aliens watch one battle unfold, they notice the human combatants shifting their tactics mid-fight. Soldiers adjust formations, finding ways to use their surroundings as cover, utilizing minimal equipment to maximum effect. Humans crawl, sprint, and work in teams, covering each other's blind spots and even engaging in hand-to-hand combat when they run out of ammunition. This is unlike anything the aliens have seen in their own highly mechanized and predictable combat scenarios. The leader of the alien team stares at the screen, growing increasingly intrigued. Each time humanity is backed into a corner, they seem to find an unexpected way out, turning even the most basic tools into powerful assets. Their adaptability is evident, as if they're always expecting the unexpected, always prepared for failure, and quick to reimagine the battlefield with whatever they have on hand. What drives them to use such outdated weapons and succeed against such odds? The leader murmurs, their voice filled with a mix of confusion and awe. Their curiosity reaches a breaking point. If humans truly rely on more than just advanced weaponry, then there may be something deeper to these primitive tools. The leader issues an order for further analysis, urging the team to understand what lies beneath humanity's attachment to these old-fashioned ways of war. As they begin gathering more data, the aliens have no idea they're on the edge of discovering something far beyond mere tradition, a truth that will challenge their own assumptions about the nature of power and adaptability. The alien team examines a simulation of a recent human battle against an advanced robotic force. Expecting a predictable outcome, they anticipate that the robots, equipped with laser-guided targeting, impenetrable armor, and advanced AI, will easily overpower human soldiers wielding guns, knives, and even hand grenades, practically relics by alien standards. Yet, as the simulation unfolds, the aliens watch in disbelief as human tactics begin to unravel the robots' defenses in surprising ways. The human soldiers, despite their outdated gear, move with precision and adaptability, blending into the dense, forested environment. They work in small, tight-knit units, avoiding direct confrontation and instead using guerrilla tactics that exploit the robotic army's vulnerabilities. From behind natural cover, the humans silently position themselves to launch ambushes, waiting until the machines are within range before striking with well-aimed shots and carefully timed explosives. The robots, designed to rely on clear, predictable lines of sight, struggle to identify their camouflaged enemies in the shadows and thick underbrush. At one point, a squad of humans lures a cluster of robots into an area they've set up with improvised explosives. A grenade detonates, temporarily disorienting the robotic soldiers. Seizing the opportunity, the humans advance, using close combat maneuvers and silenced firearms to disable the machines in close quarters. The alien observers, perplexed, wonder why the robots didn't anticipate such tactics. It quickly becomes apparent that the robots were programmed for battles in open, controlled environments, and weren't prepared for the complex, unpredictable landscape the humans had manipulated to their advantage. The aliens witness an even bolder move when the human soldiers activate an EMP device, temporarily disabling a group of robots and causing them to collapse, lifeless. Without hesitation, the soldiers dismantle parts of the fallen machines, using their components to rig makeshift devices. With each move, the humans demonstrate an almost instinctive ability to assess their environment and reshape it, weaponizing even scraps of metal and wiring left behind by their enemies. The aliens are fascinated. These humans are not only using outdated tools but are improvising on the fly, effectively turning the battlefield into a canvas for their tactics. As the simulation progresses, the aliens analyze footage from different terrains, thick jungles, abandoned urban areas, swamps. In every environment, the humans adapt with remarkable speed. In the jungle, they camouflage with mud, leaves, and natural cover, staying invisible until the precise moment they strike. In urban ruins, they move through the shadows, darting from one crumbled structure to another, scaling walls and using the ruins for vantage points. Every terrain becomes an asset in their hands, another weapon in an arsenal that extends beyond physical arms to their understanding of the landscape itself. The alien analysts can't help but theorize. Could this adaptability be innate to humans? They watch as the humans perform evasive maneuvers in low-visibility conditions, rainstorms, thick fog, and darkness that even their robotic opponents struggle to navigate. The aliens hypothesize that humans have evolved to read their surroundings intuitively, able to transform obstacles into opportunities. One alien remarks, "They are like combat opportunists, using anything and everything in their reach." An intense debate begins among the alien observers. Some argue that humans are simply desperate, using crude tactics out of necessity, while others propose a deeper hypothesis. Humans seem almost to thrive in chaos. They do not merely survive but actively shape the battlefield, seizing control of situations by turning disadvantages into advantages. They question if humans have an intrinsic connection to their environment, an instinct that allows them to adapt in ways that defy purely technical calculations. Their observations continue to challenge every assumption they held. Unlike the aliens, who rely on predictability and superior technology, humans seem willing to risk close combat, often with obsolete weapons, just to gain a strategic edge. In one instance, a human soldier wields a combat knife against a damaged robot, targeting a vulnerable joint. The aliens observe that humans fight with an understanding of both the machine and their own limited tools, knowing precisely how to leverage each movement. Their lack of reliance on technology seems to allow for an unpredictable, almost chaotic style that catches even the most advanced opponents off guard. Intrigued, the alien leader decides they need to understand more than just human tactics. There's something in the human psyche, perhaps even in their culture, that fuels this adaptable, opportunistic combat style. Humans seem to possess an uncanny drive, a resilience that allows them to fight and win against superior technology by sheer ingenuity and strategic adaptability. The leader, eager to unravel the mystery, orders an investigation into the deeper psychological and cultural roots behind humanity's resilience, certain there's more to learn about why humans continue to rely on their outdated weaponry with such success. The aliens delve into Earth's archives, uncovering a trove of human literature, folklore, and historical records. It quickly becomes apparent that certain weapons, swords, bows, shields, and even ancient firearms, are more than mere tools of violence. These artifacts are entwined with human identity, resonating with stories of honor, sacrifice, and bravery. The alien researchers find tales of warriors wielding swords, not for simple combat but as expressions of duty and family honor. A sword often carries more than a blade, it carries a lineage, passed down through generations, representing the spirit of ancestors. These records reveal that certain weapons are memorialized in myth. For humans, swords and spears were once bound to notions of chivalry, a warrior's code, or a lifelong commitment to a cause. A specific sword might be linked to a hero's journey, symbolizing a bond between family members or between a leader and their followers. For many humans, wielding these weapons meant they carried the weight of those who had come before, drawing strength from centuries-old traditions. The aliens begin to realize that, for humans, a weapon is sometimes more than its function, it's an emblem of legacy and moral duty. With fascination, the aliens analyze the cultural symbolism humans assign to their weapons. They review cases where humans continue to honor their forebears through ritual practices. Even in modern ceremonies, soldiers wield swords in displays that represent their commitment to protecting others, a gesture that speaks to resilience, discipline, and sacrifice. Each weapon, in these human traditions, is not a mere object of violence but a testament to values forged over millennia. For humans, it seems that these ancient tools represent a kind of steadfast courage that transcends the practicalities of warfare. An old rifle may carry memories of a battle fought for survival, while a family's cherished sword could serve as a reminder of an ancestor's bravery. The aliens note with curiosity how such primitive items embody ideals of loyalty, honor, and the strength to stand against overwhelming odds. A sword wielded against a superior enemy speaks to a form of courage that, to the humans, is almost sacred, a declaration of their readiness to defend even when success is uncertain. Intrigued, the alien anthropologists begin to theorize. Perhaps, they reason, these symbolic relics grant humans an advantage in combat that extends beyond physical strength. If a weapon is tied to a legacy of courage, then carrying it might serve as a morale boost, bolstering the wielder with a deep-seated conviction. This psychological edge could transform a basic weapon into a powerful force in the heat of battle, inspiring the human combatant to act with a sense of purpose that is unshaken by fear. As the aliens continue their investigation, they discuss how this symbolic weight might explain humanity's determination in conflict. A human's weapon is often an outward expression of their internal resolve, a silent promise to uphold the values of those who once held that same sword or rifle. The aliens realize that these outdated weapons are more than mere objects. They are vessels of meaning, reminders of humanity's resilience, and the honor of standing firm in the face of adversity. The alien team gradually begins to feel a growing respect for this tradition. Despite the perceived primitiveness, they understand that humans carry these weapons not out of ignorance, but out of reverence. The humans' willingness to fight, even with tools that seem obsolete, reveals a dedication to something larger than the battle itself, a connection to their history, their values, and the honor they assign to each fight. This newfound respect resonates among the aliens, challenging their assumptions about what constitutes strength. Reflecting on these findings, the aliens decide to witness humans in live combat situations, hoping to see how this cultural depth translates in real time. They are curious to observe firsthand whether this bond between a warrior and their weapon can truly inspire the legendary fighting spirit humans seem to possess. In the heat of battle, the alien observers watched the humans closely, their curiosity piqued by the choices these primitive warriors made. Rather than immediately unleashing their full arsenal, the human soldiers held back, refraining from deploying certain weapons. They deliberately avoided using devices that, though powerful, would risk civilian lives. The aliens found this act puzzling. If they had the technology to secure victory with ease, why would they choose to limit themselves? The humans' actions on the battlefield revealed a deeply ingrained code of honor. As they advanced, the aliens noticed how human soldiers went out of their way to protect each other, even risking their lives to drag fallen comrades to safety. Even more baffling was their treatment of captives. Rather than execute or exploit prisoners, human soldiers provided medical attention, food, and basic respect. The aliens had no context for this. War, to them, was a realm without mercy, a domain where the strong prevailed, and the defeated were forgotten. In one instance, a human officer chose not to fire on an enemy sheltering in a civilian zone, instead instructing his squad to reposition and seek a cleaner target. The aliens watched in disbelief, interpreting this as a sign of weakness at first. Why would a warrior allow an enemy to escape, risking their own lives in the process? But time and again, these decisions appear not out of fear but from a moral consideration, a desire to avoid unnecessary bloodshed even if it meant a harder fight. Perplexed, the aliens discussed among themselves, exchanging ideas on why humans behave this way. One of the aliens suggested that the humans were using outdated weapons by choice, opting for tools that allowed a more controlled outcome rather than overwhelming force. Energy weapons and devices that they themselves favored often left little room for precision. Their way of war was swift and devastating. Yet the humans seemed to value restraint, favoring weapons that allowed for more discernment, if only to mitigate collateral damage. This was entirely foreign to the aliens' understanding of combat. As the battle unfolded, the aliens began to view these peculiar choices as more than just a tactical oddity. They started to see a pattern, one that hinted at a distinct philosophy. Humans seemed to abide by principles that surpassed mere survival or victory. Their decisions showed a regard for life that transcended allegiance. It wasn't only a code of strategy. It was a moral code, a compass that guided them even when logic and tactics suggested a different path. Reflecting on their observations, the aliens found themselves reconsidering their previous assumptions about humanity. In their early encounters, humans had seemed simplistic, primitive, in their approach to warfare, reliant on archaic technology. Yet here, in these moments of restraint and compassion, the humans revealed a strength that went beyond weaponry. The aliens were accustomed to species who fought to dominate or survive at all costs, but humans balanced their warrior spirit with a surprising compassion, a willingness to put others' welfare over sheer tactical advantage. Some of the alien observers felt a newfound respect for these beings. Despite the humans' apparent technological limitations, they recognized the power in their ethos, something that didn't rely on raw force alone. For the first time, they began to see humans as formidable in a way they hadn't anticipated, a way that was rooted not in weaponry but in conviction. Intrigued and eager to understand this moral dimension more fully, the aliens decided to continue observing humanity in another, more complex conflict. They were curious to see if these ethical choices would hold when faced with an interspecies conflict where their so-called outdated arsenal and unusual moral code would be tested once again. In the midst of a grueling battle, the humans found themselves facing a crisis. Advanced alien technology interfered with their most powerful weapons, rendering their usual defenses ineffective. With sophisticated weapons disabled by interference or sabotage, they were forced to rely on close-quarters combat. Rather than despair, the humans adapted, drawing from centuries-old methods of warfare. Swords, axes, and even makeshift weapons were drawn, creating a scene that was both unexpected and riveting to their alien observers. The humans fought with unmatched determination. Despite being outnumbered and outgunned, they held their ground, displaying ingenuity and resilience. The aliens watched as the humans moved with a fierce sense of purpose, cooperating in ways that enhanced their chances of survival. In this moment, the aliens saw a rare combination of skill and spirit, the ability to adapt under dire circumstances and the unwavering will to endure, no matter the odds. It was not the weapons that kept them going, but a shared sense of pride and purpose, driving them to press forward against the seemingly impossible. The aliens, accustomed to a way of war dominated by technology and precision, were captivated. As they witnessed humans using what they deemed primitive weapons, they began to feel a mix of admiration and respect for their courage and tenacity. The humans fought as though each strike, each step, was a testament to their own resilience, as though the weapons in their hands were extensions of an indomitable spirit rather than mere tools of destruction. The aliens found themselves wondering if they had underestimated humanity, realizing that their reliance on advanced technology could never replicate the grit and adaptability that kept these warriors standing. As the battle continued, the alien spectators recognized that there was something unique about human resilience. Even when faced with certain defeat, the humans fought on with a sense of duty that defied logic. They didn't fight for mere survival. They fought with a purpose that went beyond the battlefield, as though each act of resistance was a testament to their species' identity. In this moment, the aliens saw the human spirit unfiltered, a raw, unbreakable drive that had nothing to do with advanced weaponry and everything to do with the warriors themselves. In their post-battle reflections, the aliens felt a shift in perspective. Humans, who they had once viewed as primitive, for clinging to older forms of weaponry, now seemed formidable in an entirely new way. The humans' choice to rely on these weapons in moments of need was not a sign of weakness but of adaptability, of honoring a tradition that went beyond mere survival. The aliens could no longer see humans as inferior. They recognized a strength that lay not in technology but in the resolve to use whatever tools were available, no matter how simple, to fight for what they valued. Moved by what they had seen, the aliens filed a report recommending that their own forces study human resilience and combat methods. What had once seemed outdated now held profound lessons, methods of close combat that demanded skill, endurance, and teamwork. They suggested that these primitive weapons might be more than symbolic. They might carry tactical advantages that the alien forces could learn from. It was an acknowledgement that the human spirit could not be measured in technological terms alone. In a final reflection, an alien leader contemplated the significance of what they had witnessed. For the first time, they understood that sometimes victory lies not in the sophistication of one's weapons but in the resolve of the hand and heart that wields them. It was the humans' unyielding spirit, their capacity to adapt, and their fierce pride that made them so formidable.